Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center in the Rockies. Welcome to everyone in the room. Thank you. Welcome to everyone on Zoom. And I am Paul Schwotzer. I'm your musician for the morning. And in recent Sundays when I've been here, I'm beginning with a John Denver song. It started out with Welcome to the Morning, which of course seemed appropriate. Anyway, here's another one. It's called Rhymes and Reasons. So you speak to me of sadness and the coming of the winter, the fear that is within you now that seems to never end, and the dreams that have escaped you and the hopes that you've forgotten. You tell me that you need me now. You want to be my friend. You wonder where we're going. Where's the rhyme? Where's the reasons? It's you cannot accept. It is here we must begin to seek the wisdom of the children and the graceful way of flowers in the wind. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loveliness would clear a cloudy day, and the song like the music of the mountains and the colors of the rainbow. They're a promise of the future and a blessing for today. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. We got caught up in the music and forgot to come in. Thank you, Paul. Welcome back. Unity in the Rockies is an inclusive community. We welcome all people, races, gender identities, relational orientations. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Let's do our mission statement together. We are an inclusive spiritual community where we recognize and express our oneness with our creation and all creation. And today, our beautiful flowers are lovingly given to us by Charlotte Wilson, who is honoring her daughter's 52nd birthday, her daughter Stacy, who passed away in 2020. We'll go to some announcements. North Cheyenne Canyon Hike, hosted by Kathy Nimitz. Is Kathy here today? This is a Sacred Women's Circle event, Saturday, July 22nd, 2023 at 9 o'clock. Meet at Starsmore Visitor and Nature Center parking lot. It's a great time to venture outdoors to explore nature, stretch our legs, and enjoy each other's company. Kathy has planned a nice morning hike to get SWC members outdoors to have fun and gather in nature's elements. Please plan to join us to make a day outside fun for all. Please check the e-blast for an RSVP. New Thought Revival, July 23rd and July 30th. Join us as we present two renowned ministers diving into speaking truth to circumstance. A reboot of the phrase speaking truth to power. Look for more information in the weekly e-blast. Good Grief, a support group for people grieving the death of a loved one. If you are struggling with the emotions of grief, then it might be time to consider joining a grief support group. First meeting is July 23rd from 12 to 1:30 here in the sanctuary. There is no registration or reservation needed. I'm tongue twisted this morning for some reason. Big band event. Unity in the Rockies presents the Crystal Swing Band on Saturday, August 12th from 7 to 9 p.m. To learn more about it, check out the weekly e-blast. You can also purchase tickets now on our website. Last but not least, a reminder that now that Kayla is moved out of state, we don't have regular office hours on site. Kayla is still on the job, so feel free to write, call, or email, and she will be happy to help you. For contact information, please visit our website. And I'm Marlee Milner, and it's a pleasure for me to be your platform assistant today. And I want to again welcome you to the Light on the Mesa.
Okay, so lyrics up there. Here we go. Let's sing this through twice. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Good morning. My name is Sylvia Ray, and I am one of your prayer chaplains. I will be available to pray with you individually after the service, along with Jean Dutton. I am reading from Unity's Daily Word magazine for Sunday, July 16th, 2023. Reflection. I reflect the brilliant light of God. God, the one presence and power in the universe, is expressing through all people, the natural world, and all other aspects of life. If I ever doubt the presence of God, I need only behold the world around me, the people, and all other aspects of life. The light of God is being reflected in the kind words and acts of people, in the beauty and magnificence of nature, and in life's grand rhythms and minuscule movements. I too reflect the brilliance of God. My ideas, dreams, and all I do to make my mark on the world are just some of the ways the divine expresses uniquely as me. Living from my divinity, I bring more of God's light into the world. And all of us, seeing the glory of the Lord as though reflected in a mirror, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. As I mentioned, our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you in front of the platform after today's service. Whether you are in a place of celebration or challenge, please take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. Also, written prayer requests can be placed in the prayer box in the lobby at any time.
This is a song called Looking for the Dove by Peter Mayer. He wrote it about 20 years ago, and unfortunately it's still needs to be sung. I remember she was here. It seemed to be a place to rest, until a flood of blood and tears washed away her nest. Was it when we felt afraid, or when we became us and them, or when the plans of war were laid? Can you tell me, was it then, when the bird of peace escaped our hands to find an olive branch of kindness and of love? She flew away, leaving us to stand, scanning the horizon, the dreary skies above, looking for the dove. Now I've seen hawks and I've seen crows, and I've heard their angry cries. I've seen buzzards flying low, who haven't heard her lullabies. But were we foolish to believe she'd be an easy bird to keep? Gave her a nest, a place to rest, but didn't know that even though she dreams, the dove of peace can never sleep. So the bird of peace escaped our hands to find an olive branch of kindness and of love. She flew away, leaving us to stand, scanning the horizon, the dreary skies above, looking for the dove. Looking for the dove. Come on. Looking for the dove.
Thank you, Paul. Always a joy to have you with us. You always show up for us. Thank you so much. Well, good morning, beautiful people. You got up today and said, I just think I'll be glorious. I love that. How good it is to be together, our third Sunday in July. Oh my goodness, so much going on, as always. So many people engaged and involved and supported and feeling the energy that you are offering as a part of this greater collective. My friends, we're raising the vibration on the planet, one person at a time, and that person is you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I wanted to point out for those who are interested that in the seat pocket in front of you, we have our printed order of service. And on the back, we have the words to all of the congregational songs. So if you're not quite able to make out the screen, or if you just want to spend a little more time with it, feel free to do so. We haven't laminated them quite yet, because we might tweak a little something here or there. So we continue to welcome your thoughts, your ideas, your prayers, and your feedback. Yes, and as Marley so beautifully shared, next Sunday launches our New Thought Revival. And what does that mean other than 2 guest ministers in a row? I'm not sure, but I thought we'd give it a try. So please show up, listen to Reverend Raz Smith, Robert A. Smith. He goes by his initials. He's Raz. His most recent post was Unity of Houston. He's a delightful guy, spent a whole lot of his career here in Colorado Springs as an architect of all things. And then following him is Reverend David Alt. David was one of Louise Hay's proteges back in the day. He was most recently with Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. And just really 2 bright lights. I trust that you will enjoy them. And speaking of bright lights, as our guest musician next week, I want to introduce the one and only Laura Weber, who's going to be joining us and sharing her vocal gifts. I promise they're well behaved, they're a nice crowd, they rarely throw anything that stains. So we're good and welcome. Thank you for sharing your gifts as well. Oh, what else? Our big band event that Marley shared with you. So I went out to hear them on Saturday night at an event in Denver, and this was for 4 members. We're going to have 6 members on August 13th, and it's going to be pretty extraordinary. We're still figuring out the configuration, where the band is going to be, where the dancing is going to happen, and all of that good stuff. Just hold with us in consciousness that it's going to be extraordinary. It is a fundraiser and fundraiser to support our music ministry. Tickets are available now online, $25 in advance, $30 at the door if we have availability. We anticipate a sellout, so please get your tickets if you're interested. We also have our flyers for the Martin Luther King service on August 27th. We're honoring the 60th anniversary of the famous, I should say, I Have a Dream speech. It's going to be wonderful. We have 3 guest ministers. We have a local gentleman, Dr. Nathaniel Granger, who is going to be stepping forth in the persona of as Dr. King of Dr. King. Another powerful event we would love to get on your calendar. And as I have referenced our beloved Marley Milner, today was her finale as a platform assistant. Has she not done extraordinary work? And recognizing that once you're volunteering, we never let go, just to be clear, Marley is stepping into a new role as the coordinator of our Sunday morning meditation. Since we have our official sign now and the world knows that our meditation is 9:20 to 9:40, Marley will be coordinating that effort going forward. So you won't see no meditation in the e-blast anymore. We will always have the meditation. Some Sundays it will be a silent meditation. Some Sundays it will be a guided meditation of some sort, perhaps using instruments. But just know that the meditation is always taking place. And as I shared in our prayer circle this morning, with this promotion, we are doubling Marlene's salary. So thank you. Yeah. 2 times 0. We love you. We bless you. We're grateful for your service. And with all of that, my friends, let us take a moment, just a moment of grounding, releasing the busyness of the day, allowing ourselves to be fully present as we step into this next phase of our service together. So I breathe in peace, and I exhale awareness. I breathe in the peace that is mine. I breathe in the peace that is the God right of every sentient being on the planet. Peace is good. Peace is ours. I breathe out awareness that the energy that I bring to the planet matters. That I get to have the human experience of perhaps being off-center for any reason. And I also have the awareness and the power to re-center myself. It's our frog principle. First, rely on God. So whether we choose to leap back to center, to hop back to center, or simply know that we are centered and one with the divine, I call it good. I call it blessed. I call it perfect. All is well, and so it is. So our affirmation for this day, my friends, I wake up to the truth of spirit that I am. You are God expressing. And may I say, you're doing a magnificent job. I bless you in that. So our monthly theme, speaking truth to circumstance. We continue in that vein today as we talk about standing on Shiva. So there's a Hindu story of a battle taking place between the gods and the demons. I'm grateful that I wasn't a part of that one. The demons were winning, and the gods turned to Durga, also known as the goddess of compassion and mothering. Isn't it interesting that even the gods turn to their mothers when they need help? Out of Durga's forehead sprang the fierce warrior goddess Kali. Kali proceeded to destroy the demons, and in her frenzy, then began killing everyone. She was out of control. Shiva, the destroyer of illusion, threw himself in front of her feet, allowing her to come to herself, to come back to her center and stop her mindless killing. So what we know as unity folk, Charles Fillmore writes in the 12 Powers, never repress the pulse, the force, the zeal welling up inside of you. And let your zeal be tempered with wisdom. Do not let your zeal run away with your judgments. I love that zeal is one of the 12 powers that we speak to frequently. And my paraphrasing of Charles Fillmore, everything in moderation, including moderation. When we go to war with conditions, we can get lost in the battle, forgetting our real purpose. Grounding in truth brings us back to that remembering that we are indeed spiritual beings having this human experience. So I love this. This little book has been very helpful for me about how to speak unity by my dear friend Temple Hayes. Those of you who were here a few months ago saw Temple on Zoom. She's going to be joining us on the cruise in January. And in her book, How to Speak Unity, she writes of truth. How do we know what is true? There is one truth which matters to us as students of life. The truth which we discover along our journey is the truth which is imperative to follow and honor. Jesus stated this simple method to live by, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 32. He did not say, we shall all know the same truth, nor did he say, set yourselves free, and then know the truth. The path to joy is one in which we listen inwardly and follow the truths we believe. All of us are blessed with our own inner awareness of what actions or movements forward we are to take. Did you hear that? You already know. You know. As we follow what we know to be true, our lives prosper. As we deny the truths we are hearing, not only are we not free, we are limited to a life of trial and error. So the spell of illusion sometimes drives us crazy. There's so much to do. There's so many demons to slay. There's so much on the to-do list for this day, for this week, for this month, before the next meeting. We can get pulled off our own knowing of the truth. So as we remember then our 12 powers, we wake up from the craziness. We stop killing off what we wanted to save. As we've spoken to this month, practices such as meditation, prayer, self-awareness help us stay centered and deal with life. Without a strong spiritual practice, we can get caught up in the latest cause for alarm and calls to extreme action. Anybody turn on any version of cable news this week? Is it just my imagination? Every time I look at it, everything is breaking news. And it's breaking me, so I have to step away. That is my centering. There are always news stories blaring outrage from one position or another. When we take the time to stand on Shiva, to stand in truth, we'll see past the frenzy, we'll see through the illusions, we'll see past the thunder and the lightning to the essence of the situation. Then we're able to create effective solutions. Then we're able to apply the creative process in life-enhancing ways. So that Hindu story I shared with you has several symbolic elements. First, the main demon has a gift that if cut in any form, any drop of his blood that touches the ground will result in a duplicate of himself. This archetype shows up in many cultures. It represents the experience that no matter how hard we try, the problem we're trying to solve just grows and grows and grows and gets bigger and bigger. There seems to be no solution. So faced with this, we can become hopeless. Anybody ever used the expression hitting my head against the wall, right? Anybody ever heard the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome? Yeah, I'm sure I'm the only one. Okay. It's interesting that a goddess known for compassion is the one to whom the gods turn. Now, compassion is defined by Webster's dictionary as a sympathetic consciousness of others' distress, together with a desire to alleviate it. I not only see it, I'm inclined to help you. So that's the second part, the desire to alleviate it. That moves compassion out of ineffective pity, right? We are called to alleviate the suffering of others and our own. As Charles reminds us, the world has learned all it should through suffering. Pretty far-sighted for a fellow 100 years ago, I think. We're good with suffering. We've got what we've needed through suffering. What if we continue to choose to learn through joy, to learn through happiness, to learn through connection? So Callie bursts forth with the correct tools and tactics. She has a bowl to catch the demon's blood and the ability to devour his duplicates. Eventually, his head is severed. And this can symbolize that when we prevent the seeds of suffering from hitting the ground of our consciousness, they can no longer replicate, right? So if we don't provide them with that fertile soil, they're not going to grow. But it takes a fierce, focused attention to do so. Now, isn't the word evil interesting? The word evil spelled backwards is, the word evil spelled backwards is live. Perhaps we can use this tremendous metaphor to realize that there aren't any really evil people or forces in the world, just people living backwards who use the life force to create harm and devastation instead of creating greater expressions of aliveness, love, and joy. This gives us an idea of how to overcome the experience of evil by flipping it into alignment with life. When we no longer provide a grounding for the idea of evil in our minds, we'll see people and circumstances differently. Callie, an expression of the divine mothering principle, is an expression of the infinite oneness. As such, she's able to absorb the seeds of the demon without having them grow in her. As we become ever more aware and grounded in our oneness with all of life, not only will the seeds that others want to call evil no longer affect us, we will become so clear we can absorb them before they create more fear, more anger, and more separation. Like Callie, we must be fierce practitioners of truth in order to be truly effective in shifting consciousness and thus circumstances in the world. So another piece, Shiva is known as the destroyer in the Hindu tradition. He's often considered part of the trinity of creation, maintaining or protecting creation and destruction of creation so that something new may emerge, right? We've talked about that before in different contexts. We get to release those thoughts, those ideas, that race consciousness that no longer serves us. And that's our choice. We can say, that's awesome. I still want to do that. I still want to have that belief system. Or we can say, I choose to tweak that in a way that better serves me. Or we get to say, that served me well. It's like an old pair of shoes. It no longer fits, right? Or in some cases, it's the wrong season. I can't wear that anymore. At any rate, we get to get rid of the old so we can create room for more good. That is exactly what we did at our yard sale. We got rid of things that were no longer serving us, that could serve people out in the world better than they could serve us sitting in a shed or sitting on a shelf, right? And that is what our beautiful friends at UU did in dissolving their church. They gave 10 organizations checks for $10,000. Now, wherever you are on your life journey, would 10 grand be helpful? Yeah. So what if we got to step into that, shifting consciousness and shifting the world? So Charles also reminds us that spirit is forever taking form and forever deserting the form which it has taken. Spirit is doing the same thing. Spirit is creating and releasing. Spirit is creating and dissolving or letting go. When we recognize that this too shall pass, we bring a calmness to our work. We can take on causes, we can seek to improve the world, we can seek to improve ourselves, while realizing the demons we face will pass. So our challenge comes, my friends, in our humanness, in wanting instant gratification. God, give me patience and I want it right now. We want it all now. While the entirety of the divine is here now, is present now, we would be blown into non-existence if the divine expressed everything that the divine is right here and right now. Just as Moses was told not to look upon God, and Arunja, upon seeing the fullness of Krishna, cried out that he wanted to return to his normal seeing, we must allow the flow of the divine nature to take place at a pace we can handle. Myrtle reminds us, there is no process of healing, but there is generally a process in healing. This process is the time and effect which we undergo in our realizations of truth, or in the book by the same name by Emily Cady, Lessons in Truth. We will not enter heaven until we can all go together. Now again, I don't know about your experience. My experience is there is David time, and there is exactly what I want to have happen when, and there is divine time. And guess who wins? And guess who is clearly the junior partner? So that's what we get to continue to experience and express. So whether this story that I've shared with you, whether the concept of Kali seems terrifying or fascinating or loving, depends on our state of consciousness and our level of both emotional and spiritual development. Regardless, she always invites us into a radical form of ego transcendence. Out of our compassion for the world, we must take action to alleviate suffering. Without action, we're just pitying spectators, hoping and wondering if possibly some good will come of something that we're doing. Our action will be far more effective if we understand what really needs to happen and what we are really seeking to create. Now let's keep in mind the old saying that if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? If we are truly committed to creating a world that works for all, we will be called outside of our comfort zone. We will be called to use methods that may not be familiar to us. So as we face these new circumstances, these different circumstances, I invite you to consider that our first practice should be visioning. What does spirit, not my ego, want to express here? What does spirit want to express in this spiritual community, in my life, in my work life, in my family? Then, what must I become and release for this vision to manifest? So you're asking the question, you are tapping into your direct connection to the divine. Yes, you have access to the wisdom of the universe, and that is exactly what you're doing with the visioning process. And we must stay grounded in the truth of spiritual principle so we don't go off, as my mom used to say, half-cocked, destroying everything in sight. Finally, then, we get to be patient. Just as if we were teachers in a school, as I know so many of you are and have been, and so many will be. We would compassionately find ways to support the learning of the slowest children. We must compassionately support the learning of all among us. We must find ways, which may not be our way, to reach people who are struggling and suffering. Tom Johnson writes in Action Does It, We must practice the principle of living the presence of God. In doing so, we do not argue, criticize, or condemn someone else, or even our own self. So I was intrigued with this story. You know, Mark Nepo is one of my favorites. I have quite a long list of favorites. But Mark Nepo shares in the Book of Awakening, during one of Mahatma Gandhi's hunger strikes, a man whose daughter had been killed came to Gandhi in a state of anguish. He told Gandhi that he would stop fighting if Gandhi would end his strike and eat. But Gandhi knew that the healing was deeper than just stopping the violence. He told the man he would eat only when the father embraced the man who killed his daughter. The man collapsed in tears, but did as Gandhi asked, and the larger conflict ended. Gandhi's request reveals the irrefutable wisdom that only when the broken are healed, no matter what they have done, will we as a people heal. And so, my friends, your homework for this week, if you choose to accept it, identify an area of suffering, either in your own life or in the world or anywhere in between, that's called to be alleviated. Practice visioning, asking for Spirit's highest idea for this circumstance, for this issue with which you're grappling. Then, what is yours to do, to become and to release? Finally, a vision for an action to be taken by Spirit through you. And that might be traveling to another part of the world. And that might be offering a prayer. And it might be something in between. Because you see, my friends, you are the one that we've been waiting for. When the power comes from within us and we claim it as our own, then we no longer have to affirm ourselves by dominating others. The irony is that we're all actually afraid of our own power. And that's from Marion Woodman. Dancing in the Flames, the dark goddess and the transformation of consciousness. So that is what we are about, my friends. That is our work. That is our work this day, all days, and all ways. We are transforming consciousness. And it's a great joy to be on this journey with you. If you would please join me in prayer. I love it that I know that I have direct access to the wisdom of the universe. I'm grateful for middle people and helpers and spirit guides and shaman and ministers, and I have access to the wisdom of the universe. That is good, that is strong, that is right, that is powerful, that is blessed, and that is a blessing. And so on this day, as we are invited into that space of connecting with the divine, connecting with that wisdom, I know that each person knows the perfect question to ask. There's no wrong, there's no bad. Whatever your heart, your mind, your soul, your life journey is seeking, it is appropriate to connect with your understanding of the divine. And what I know is each being within the sound of my voice is powerful beyond measure. And I bless everyone in that experience, knowing that each and every being is a spiritual being having this human experience, knowing that we get to share this big planet we call Earth together, knowing that we are all seeking and offering love, knowing that we're all doing the best we can. I simply say thank you. I say thank you, God, for the magnificence and the glory that we are experiencing and exploring. Thank you for the opportunity to connect in this community, grounded in spirit and open at the top, accepting wisdom wherever it lies. And I just bless it. It gives me God bumps thinking about it. And I just say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I release this word into the amazing alchemy that is the law, knowing that it is done before it was spoken, knowing that blessings abound, knowing that magnificence and excellence are ours for the claiming. I say thank you, Spirit. We anchor this together by saying, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are. Yes. And now, my friends, it is that time for us to continue to explore prosperity in abundance as we have the opportunity to give where we are spiritually fed. What I know is the same God that hung the moon and the stars and put the swimmers in the ocean continues to be active in your life. And what I know is that money is God in action. We are so grateful for your gifts, for your tithes, for your offerings on this day and all days. If you would please join me in our abundance blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
This song is called Singing a Song by Peter Mayer. It's one of my favorites. We know this river always keeps flowing, and we will be rowing our whole lives long, and we may never know where we're going, but we can go there singing a song, just like a mother to a child she is holding, just like a soldier marching along, just like the faithful on Sunday morning, raising our voices, singing a song. Eyes will shine but not as bright, arms will hold but not as tight, when a word is only spoken. So give it feeling, give it rhyme, play it in 4/4 time, sing it with a heart wide open, sing of the beauty that's right there beside you, bring it inside you, making you strong, so that when trouble comes round to grieve you, still it will leave you singing a song. Eyes will shine but not as bright, arms will hold but not as tight, when a word is only spoken. So give it feeling, give it rhyme, and play it in 4/4 time, sing it with a heart wide open, and may the music of life overtake us, till angels mistake us for a heavenly throng, and may that joyful sound be shelter and find us together singing a song. Yeah, may that joyful sound be our shelter and find us together singing a song.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
We can't hear you, David.
How's that? There we are. Okay, my apologies. I'll take it from the top. So we just bless the ability to be in the flow, bless the prosperity and the abundance as it flows to us and through us, knowing that money is God in expressing. So grateful for the hearts, the hands, the minds, all that come together as we continue to do our work, to do what is ours to do, to pray and take action. Thank you, God. All is well, and so it is. Goodness sakes. Exciting. More paper, more flyers. Let's see. Perfect. And again, if you need a little help or you can't read the monitors, we do have the words to both the children's blessing as well as our final prayer and let there be peace on earth on the sheets in front of you. So feel free to reference those whenever you would like. So now it is time as we bless the children of our community and of the world. Let us get that energy flowing and send it up and out and knowing it comes back manyfold. For all of the children, you are loved, special, and important. We see you and bless the divine beings you are. Yes.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. We are a family. You are the face of God.
For our children and for you. So, my friends, as we go forth this week, I know we do so with great joy. I know that we are God expressing. I know that we are living the concept of namaste. The divinity in me blesses and recognizes the divinity in you. That is who we are. That is what we do. I am so blessed and so grateful to be a part of this community. Now, as we move through our prayer for protection, please know that is the truth and that is the ground upon which we stand. Please join me. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you. Many blessings. As we move into our closing song, please stand and stay in your rows. Join hands if you choose. And a quick announcement, there will not be a fellowship gathering in the fellowship hall. We're in the process of having our floors stripped and refinished to maintain our warranty. So anybody who can help grab a couple of chairs or a table and move it to the shed, we'd really appreciate it. We'll buy you a cup of coffee next week.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the